the owner and creator of Sass Queen Bling. And in this tutorial today, I'm going to show y'all how I glitter a tumbler and then marble over that glitter with the Malibu. Now my mind just went right out the window. The Malibu Easy Marble. No, let me start this over. Hey y'all, it's Robin Anderson, the owner and creator of Sass Queen Bling. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show y'all how I glitter a tumbler and then marble it with the Easy Marble Maribu paints. And then apply my decals. These are the cutest designs. It is a little extra work, but I absolutely love it, and I wanted to share with y'all. And yes, I do believe this is going to be a snowman tumbler. I know it's not Thanksgiving yet, but sometimes we get creative block, and so we need some ideas to help us. And I figured the sooner I post these, the better, and the more helpful people can get ready for Christmas. Y'all look at my hair. My hair is big today. Y'all, I like big hair. The higher the hair, the closer to Jesus. Yes. Okay, let's go. So I'm using a 20-ounce straight today. I cannot remember where I got this tumbler. You can get them just about anywhere. I may have gotten this one from Cup Artistry Blanks. For my white glitter on here, I'm going to use Hedwig from Peachy Olive Glitters because it's a full coverage white, and I want a full coverage white on this tumbler. And I also am adding a little bit of Brite because I do want a twinkle in that. The reason why I didn't use just Brite or any other one is because it has more of an opal to it, and those are more see-through, and I don't want it to be translucent like that, so that's why I'm using these two. And I'm just going to mix this in slowly into my epoxy and get ready to apply it to the cup. After I apply this to the cup, we'll let it turn for 12 hours before I do anything else to it, because I want to make sure this cup is good and dry before I dip it in the marble paints. So my cup has been turning for 12 hours and it's completely dry and ready to go. And I have my stencils already cut out. I have my snowflake stencils and my stencil design that's going to go where my snowman is going to go. So it's going to create the glitter spot for my snowman. And I made that by just using the drawing tools on Silhouette Studio and using the draw and arc, where you can choose different designs to make, and I chose that design and just blew it up the size that I needed. For this, you want to make sure you use removable vinyl. This is Cricut removable vinyl that I'm using here, because we're going to come back and remove these, and you don't want to use permanent vinyl because you'll have a hard time trying to get that off. And these are just stencils, so they're not staying on. So I'm just going to go ahead and place this where I want my snowman to go, and then I'm going to place the snowflakes throughout around the cup where I want those to go. I'm ready to do my easy marble dip. I've already got my 5-gallon bucket of water, and normally I don't do this in the house, but because it's really cold outside today, I'm doing it inside because you need room temperature water, and I don't want my water to get too cold sitting outside. I'm using azure blue, light blue, silver, white, and a crystal clear for my marble dips. I'm using crystal clear because that will create a negative space. So when you have glitter underneath like I have, you use the clear because you want some of that glitter to shine through, and the clear is going to create negative space there so paint doesn't cover your glitter wherever that is at. So whenever you do this, if you're using a glitter base like I am, make sure you add crystal clear to it so that you can create that negative space. Shake up the easy marbles really good because they kind of settle. So I'm shaking them up really good, and then I'm just shaking each color in there. In no particular order, I'm just shaking them in there. If there is one color that you would like more of, then after you shake all your colors in there, go back and shake that color in again. If you're using any of the metals like I am, silver, you want that one to be the last one that you shake in because they dry the quickest. So I'm just going to shake all of these in here like so. And how much paint you use just depends on what size cup you're doing. I'm doing a 20 ounce. I just want to make sure I have enough in here. If you're doing a smaller cup, you wouldn't need as much. And if you're doing it inside like I am, make sure you have a towel down, and also make sure you have on gloves. I'm wearing gloves because even just touching these bottles, my hands get all yucky because these bottles are just, it doesn't matter how clean you try to keep them, they don't stay clean. Also, make sure you have a piece of cardboard. I have a small piece of cardboard so that I'll show you how I use that in a little bit. Now I'm just going to take my stick and pull the paints to the side of the bucket because you want to create a film. So just pull the paints to the side of the bucket and see how it's sticking to the side. That's what you want so that you create a film. Now I'm just going to put my cup in at a slant, turn as I'm putting it in, and then shake it around so that I can get that paint out the way. Now take my piece of cardboard and wipe that paint off the top, the film, so that I can pull my cup out. Because if you leave that film in there, then as you pull the cup out, it's going to get on the cup and it just creates a mess. So you don't necessarily have to do it like that. You can just shake it really well and pull it out, and you'll create a hole there where you can pull the cup out without the paint attaching to it. This is just the way I do it. But isn't it beautiful? Oh my gosh, it turned out so good. And I wanted to use those blues like that and that silver because that's just kind of your winter wonderland colors, and I just really like that. It goes with the snowman really well. Then just take your paper towel. Sorry, I am not in the view, y'all. I don't know what I was thinking. But you just dab the cup, and you may see you have like water bubbles on there, and that's fine. You just wipe those with the paper towel, and they'll pop. So just dab it dry, and you can rub across those water bubbles, and they'll pop easily. Now that I've done that and wiped it off, now I'm ready to pull my stencils. And I'm just using my Cricut weeding tool and gonna pull off all the stencils that I placed on because this is going to reveal the glitter underneath. And that's gonna be where I'm going to put my offsets for my snowflakes and my snowman. got all those pulled, I want to go ahead and place my snowman, because this spot is already clean and smooth since I pulled the stencil off, and I want to place my snowman before I do my next layer of epoxy and come back and put my offsets on my snowflakes. After I put the snowman on and that dries, I'm going to come back with Mod Podge and seal this. Anytime you use Maribu Easy Marble, you have to seal those. If you don't, your epoxy will fisheye all over. So you do have to seal it really well. I seal it twice. I will go over it once with the Mod Podge and let that dry really well, and then I'll go over it again with the Mod Podge and let that dry really well. Then I'll be ready to epoxy it. So always make sure you seal that, because you don't want to have to go through. I have done it, believe me. I made that mistake. Once you do it, you won't do it again, but just keep from causing yourself that headache. This snowman is so cute, and these blues are so pretty. So I've got him on there. I'm just going to dry it off with a paper towel, pushing any water out that may be behind there, because you want that good and dry. And I'll let this dry, and then I will Mod Podge over that. So make sure you let your water slide, any water slides you put on, dry first before you do the Mod Podge. Okay, and now that my water slide is dry, now I'm just using matte Mod Podge. I'm gonna Mod Podge over the whole entire cup, even my water slide, and seal the whole thing. And I'll let that dry really well, and then I'll go back over it with a second coat and let that dry really well. Now my Mod Podge is completely dry, and I am ready to epoxy. I'm using 20 milliliters of epoxy, and I've added a tad of Mr. Nola's Crew Juice to it just to give a sparkle over my Easy Marble. So beautiful. I wanted to add that sparkle, so I would have I have the glitter underneath, but over the marble paints, I want to have a sparkle over that blue. Remember, I put that clear in, so some of my white glitter underneath is shining through, but where the blue is, that glitter is not shining through. So this sparkle will bring some shine, some shiny sparkle to those blues and the silver. And it's so pretty. I'm going to put this coat of epoxy on and let this turn for 12 hours because I want it completely dry before I come back and put my offsets on. And then I will be ready for my final coat of epoxy. Exciting! So now my cup has turned for 12 hours and it's completely dry and beautiful. Now I just want to lightly sand over it just to make sure I don't have any bumps or anything like that, because I'm going to put my offsets on here and I don't want any bumps or anything causing an issue with my vinyl. So I'm just make sure this is good and smooth. And then I will sand around the top and around this bottom here, because I want everything to be good and smooth. Because after I place my offsets on here, I will do another coat of epoxy, and that will probably be my final coat of epoxy. And I'll be ready to be done. And move on to the next cup. Okay, so after I sand and wipe it down with alcohol, now I'm ready to apply my offsets. I will tell you that I thought the best way to apply these was the hinge method. I can let you know that did not work for me. I tried it. It was a no-go. I can tell you the best way to apply these is to line up the triangles in the center of the snowflake and place them on there from there, and that works perfectly. The hinge method did not work for me. It may work for others, but I wasn't good at it, so I will stick with lining up the triangles in the middle, because as you can see, I struggle a little bit trying to do that, and finally I decide, no, I need to find a new way. So once I find the new way, it all goes smoothly from there on out. But anywho, that's what crafting is about, figuring it out as you go. And I've just about got these done, and it is so pretty. Look, it's so perfect. I love it. I'm going to keep it. Yeah, see the triangles right here? That's what you need to line up, and they will lay perfectly on there. So once I get this very last one, or two. Once I get these placed, I will be ready to seal this. I like to seal my vinyl, especially this kind of vinyl, because it can give issues with lifting, and I don't want to have a problem with that, because that's a pain in the you-know-what. So I'm just going to go over it with a layer of Mod Podge and let that dry, and that will seal it in, and then I'll be ready to do my last layer of epoxy. Should be my last layer of epoxy, but you know how that goes. Now that I've got that done, I'm ready to do the Mod Podge. And I'm using just a matte Mod Podge. That's the one I have on hand. It's the one I'm using. It doesn't matter what whatever Mod Podge you use. And I'm just going to get my brush. You can use any brush. I just use whatever brush I find at the moment. Sorry y'all, I'm not organized, but I'm just going to put a layer of Mod Podge on here. You want to make sure you don't go thick on there because you don't want to have any Mod Podge that doesn't dry. Any that bulks up, it won't dry, so be careful with that. You just want a thin layer, and make sure you cover all of your vinyl and everything, and just get a nice even coat so that you can seal that vinyl in so that it does not give you any issues later. And let that dry really well, and then we'll do the layer of epoxy. So now I've got that sealed, and I have mixed up 15 milliliters of epoxy, and that should be enough to do this cup for a final layer. If not, I can always come back and do another light layer over that. Like I've said before, I like to go lighter because once you put it on there, you can't take it off, but you can always add more if you need to. And so I'm just going to apply this layer of epoxy, and then I will let it turn for 12 hours. And if I need another light layer, I'll do one. If not, then that will be it. And it's so beautiful. I just thought this would be something different, a easy marble Peakaboo. You don't see that very often, and it's actually pretty cute. I love it. I think I'll make some more of these. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please remember to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Pinterest. I do have giveaways. I did give away 3 tie-dye shirts the other day to 3 people who shared my post. I do that randomly. So if you share my post on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you never know. You may win something because I randomly do that. So don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms, and don't forget to share. I love and appreciate each and every one of you so much. Your support means the world to me, and thank you for watching. Bye.